We're notifying viewers. Interact. Conversation starters. Nope, don't care about that. Interact. Lightning Q&A. Poll. Get your viewers' opinions. No, not sure I want to do that. Welcome, Jen in... Oh, Jen I England. Is that Jen in England? That's interesting. Glow chat. How are you guys doing? It is finally cooling down. It's kind of a nice day now. The only thing is I've got this set up, this camera, so that I can, I can barely see you guys, so that's not cool. Um, for those of you, Jenny England. All right, but, oh, come on. Sorry, Jenny. Yeah, I got it. Nice. Jenny England. Okay. Yeah, good. So, how many of you guys, just out of curiosity, have seen what I do and have seen any of my content before? And that's not a narcissistic question. I have plenty of that, but it wasn't really about that. It's about just wondering if you know kind of the vibe of what I do and what I'm about. Because if you were to look at this external thing, you would say, all right, this guy's sweaty as hell. He's been working on his farm, all that. But you would be very, very, very wrong because I am the epitome of a horrible, evil capitalist. So that's where you just start unsubscribing or whatever you youngins do and run away. But what I've been doing is this, is I have not posted on TikTok for 4.5 months. I did do a live about 3 days ago, and it was very interesting because what happened was a lot of people were like, dude, we really miss you. What's going on? And I was like, holy crap. And so I want to tell you what I did. I sat right out there in that chair and last night and I said, I'm trying to navigate this because I don't know if TikTok is the right place for me. Am I getting what I need to get out of it? Is it doing what I need to do to make my life go forward? Is there an intentionality with that I like? Now, here's the cool thing. What the overwhelming kind of meditative response that I got was this. Check this out, you guys. It's not about me. And I want to share this with you because here's the scoop. If you do follow my content, great. If not, go check it out. I mean, if you want. Um, and you'll see that what I've done for every single video is I've tried to give you guys wisdom in the areas of personal development, warrior's path, making a whole bunch of money, a lot of money, how to kind of navigate life and how to have, a nuanced view of this where you just are really, where everything's fundamentally okay. And so I've tried to do that by balancing between being very, very much in the world, right? And let me tell you what I'm doing because you guys are going to go, that's why you ran away. Okay, so I lost about 50 people by talking about money, so that's cool. Um, are you familiar with a 506B public offering? 506 private offering, sorry. It's a SEC exempt type of public fund where you can, living in the present for you page. Oh, awesome. That's wonderful. So my background, what I've done for the last 4 months is I built a large team. It's about 14 people, and I've done real estate for. Hey, beautiful soul, remember you're loved. Well, thank you. I like that. You're loved too, and I appreciate it. So what I've done is I've done real estate syndication. That's where a whole bunch of people get together and they do things. And so what have I done over the last 4 months that I've been gone? Well, I've bought about 5 trailer parks. Now you go, what in the world are you buying a trailer park for, Laughing Truth? That doesn't sound like you. Why would you do that? Well, I wouldn't. But check this out. Run the math on this. How many of you guys know what a trailer park is? Please say you know what that is, okay? And when you think of that, do you tend to think of it as being like last chance housing, like that's where people live right before they become homeless, or you kind of look down, that's like blue collar and all that. Do any of you have that bias? I'm just curious. Because if you do, I am about to rock your freaking world. A lot of people have that. And so what I do is I go in and instead of saying, let's take this flimsy aluminum crap construction project and put somebody in it and they can overpay for it. And then at the end of 15 years, it's worth zero because it's falling apart. And what if instead I were to bring in, imagine Amish tech, imagine a wood built construction with an R value of 37, a wind shear value of 145, basically an atom bomb proof home that is built better than wherever you're living right now. So nice. I'm in real estate. I've been in real estate for 33 years. Wow. So anyway, so if you replace this out, this is this concept of tiny home. The way I started smacking the screen with it, I don't know what that means. And guys, please, 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 I'm old, and my story is that yes, tiny home community. We're about to go there. 88 It's not even Rasco, it's Raxo. Okay, 88 Raxo. We're about to go there. And if you guys want to do me a favor, if this is an interesting topic and you want to go, how can you scale into it? How can you scale into something like this as an average human? I'm about to break that open for you. And I don't ever charge for anything. That's not what I do. Oh, Josh, please be nice, man. All right, so I don't know how to ban people, but I don't want to be mean to people. So let me do this. I gotta ban you, dude. I'm sorry. All right, block. Yeah. I found out that if I just let people talk and say whatever, I didn't realize because, that's how it is. Um, and when I did that, I didn't realize that TikTok kind of gets mad at me for having, insufferable people. So let's break down what happens. You can go look up lincolnblock.com. They were um, they were on TikTok and they grew, and then COVID and all this kind of stuff. Smoke liquor out of pipe, put with orange peel all the way. I got to get rid of you, man. I just gotta block people. So sorry guys, I'm blocking people that are weird because I didn't know that it actually affected my TikTok when people did that. So okay, so here's the scoop. We're taking housing that is just beat up, and if we can salvage it, we will go through and spend $20,000, whatever, and then go forward and fix the whole thing up and make it really, really amazing. But if it can't be fixed up, we pull it out and we bring in wood construction with, and you can go look up lincolnblock.com. It's wicked, 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 wicked cool. I'm weird, but I send roses. Well, I'm weird and I send, all right, cool. Um, so by pulling those out, what we're changing is a person who has been a renter in an asset class that makes them feel like this is run down and this is my life. And instead, listen to this carefully, turn them into an owner in an intentional community where they're not saddled by debt for 30 years. They pay everything off in 7 or 8, and they can actually be free in this financial game and create intergenerational wealth as a blue collar or a retiree or somebody else like that. So basically, I'm taking waste material that would normally be outgassed into the atmosphere. I'm carbon sequestering it. I am building intentional human communities and solving affordable housing. So, I don't care about that. You're never free with property tax or HOAs. I think that is such a dumb thing to say. And I'm happy to debate this with you because check this out. One, that's not true. It's absolutely not true. If you wanted to, you could say, I understand you're never free with property taxes, but you know what? Can you imagine? Look where I live. This is one of the places that I live. Okay. I have a whole bunch of tiny houses here. I've got my clubhouses. I've got the little houses that I've built, and I'm in the. You are going to get blocked. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to have to block people. I'm not good at that. So it is true. Try not paying them. Okay, here's my point. There is a relative cost to being part of anything like that. And what you're saying is that you don't really own anything because you always own property taxes. Try not paying them, see what they'll do. They'll take it away. I get that. But that's also like saying, even if you were off the grid and you're homesteading and everything, you can look at it that way and say, well, I still have property taxes on my raw land. So even though I'm producing my own electricity and water, I'm not really free yet. But so what? Here's my point. I've been creating EcoBricks, badass. Check out Lincoln Block because what we're doing is I think in about 4 years, printable homes with concrete will be there. They're not there yet. It's not a cost savings and it's not materially better. It's not quite there. But so back to the property taxes. Is it true? Is it absolutely true that you can never avoid property taxes and that you're always going to have to pay them? Is it absolutely 100% true? What do you guys think? It's light where you're at. Yeah, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. You have to go. Okay. I think I did that right. Yeah, you know what? I don't understand the idea of anyway. Okay, so let's talk about it. So what happens if are you saying absolutely because if you're going to say something, you got to say it with authority. And I'm going to ask you this question. Is there a scenario that you can think of where you would not pay property taxes, even with an agriculture exemption? I get it. Is it possible? Yeah. What if you were a secular religious organization? Are you exempt from your state property taxes? What do you think? I might know a little bit about this because I have a lot of paths in life. One is that this exists as a meditative retreat for people to run away to sort themselves out as a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. We're building tiny homes. We're going to be bringing in a lot of other things. And it's a place to kind of just be like, okay, I just need a second to catch up or get away or write my book or build my, that's not true. See, this is the thing, you guys, when people give advice and they are, look it up, you say then you have to be a 501c. Very close. Very close. You have to act. Read it very carefully. You have to act as a 501c. You're absolutely right, as for the religious exemption. And that means you have to follow through. Do you have regular meetings? Do you have teachings? Do you do these kind of things? You don't think a personal home counts. Well, this is not a personal home. This is a clubhouse that is used by all of the people. I'm going to walk you around with this tripod a little bit. So we have a tiny home over here, tiny home over there. See if you can see over there. Tiny home over there. This big ass place, oh, I don't know how I'm doing this, is the clubhouse that is open for everybody to use. Come in, play music, watch a movie, eat food together, whatever you want. I'll walk in here real quick. And that basically is just a huge common area, right? And then there's greenhouse and another huge greenhouse behind here. And then the greenhouse is up on the hill. And then the chickens and the bunnies and all that other kind of stuff. However, we are following exactly the rules of a 501c to the T. And so what that means is, what happens if you don't maintain compliance? Well, then you would be taxed on your property values, on your property tax. Yeah. I'm just saying, when we speak in absolutes, like you absolutely have to do that, that's just not true. And so what if you did? Because here's the thing. I bought this right. I bought this 3 years, 2 months ago. So just about 3 years ago. And I paid, this is kind of funny, $330 for all the acreage and everything else like that. There's monoculture Doug fir behind me. Okay, you can be right, man. Whatever you need to do, you're not free. Okay. That's like saying a canned hunt is the same as a free range hunt. LOL. Okay, so you're not free. So now what? You are right, Capture Outdoor Media. You are not free, and it's impossible to be free. So what would you do? You would say perfection is the enemy of excellence. And you wouldn't wrap yourself in a dogmatic way of approaching things and say, you can have an amazing life, a really, really great life. Because I also have a house in Portland. And so I spend time in the city there. And then I also spend time out here. But I want to go back to what I was originally talking about is how capital markets and how people are seeing mobile home parks and what's been going on lately. And it's very interesting because way back in July of last year, I told everyone that I knew, get out of equities, get out of stocks, get out of crypto, get out of everything like that, get flat. Because this stuff is going to go south really bad. This is because I don't want to hear about Russia. I don't want to hear about Ukraine. I don't want to hear about that because this is because of quantitative easing that began in 2009. If the world was ending, would you cry or try to come and get me? I don't know you, so I wouldn't cry for sure, and I wouldn't try to get you. I would probably have a turkey sandwich and enjoy the end of it as a well played game, and I would really be happy. I know, that's my answer. Hi all. Well, hello. So back to the mobile home thing. I want you guys to, now I'm going to give you some math because I am really, really, if you know the term a quant, people that are like really nerd out on data, that's me. But I also am a CEO of a company and I have companies overseas. And I've also been, here's why you should, maybe a compelling reason to listen if you don't know me. Check this out. Number one, I have been self-employed for 33 years. That's pretty cool. Guys, can I ask a question? When it says sent rows, I don't know what that means. And I think that's doing something that I'm supposed to acknowledge and say thank you. So if you're doing something, sent rows, I'm saying thank you, okay? I don't know how to do that. I don't know what it means, but it says that you see value in what I'm doing. So I do appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, back to the concept. What is the average age? I'm going to give you a really crash course on exactly what I'm doing because what has happened is the capital markets have gotten the crap kicked out of them in equities and in crypto and all that. And so now they're going, oh man, where do we park our money? And they're starting to look at real estate. The thing is they're too big. So they're not as agile as I am. And they're only looking at projects of 5 million, 25 million, all that other kind of stuff. So I can pick off stuff that is less than 5 million and turn it around and change it from beat up rental housing to intentional community living where people own their own units. And I'm even trying something. I'm going to do a condoization project where people actually even own the land so they don't even ever pay lot rent. Can you imagine how cool that would be? I want to be the first person to pull that off. I think that'd be wicked. So, and then also doing this fund, this 506B, you can look up Series D exemption, 506C, 506B. But by the way, as I talk, you guys, please, 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 I'm going to get into what I would be doing if I were you. And it's tangible and it's something that is scalable that you can start small and it's really wicked. Um, so let's talk about parks for a second. But will you guys ask me questions? Yeah, they sure as hell are. BlackRock is buying all the real estate under $500,000 in cities is going to have an all cash offer. So you know what? What if you said, okay, and I do not agree with BlackRock. I do not. How do we further communication to do this? I have a team and a plan also. You can reach out to me. I think all my information is in my bio. Um, I have an email address. You can reach me there. It's even got my phone number. You can call me. So whatever you want to do, Infinite, that would be fine. So I'm completely against BlackRock to be, and I think they're up to 34 trillion. Everything you touch is touched by BlackRock or Vanguard. I know that. I get it. But what if you didn't compete against those guys? What if you moved down to a normal scale? And this is back to what our friend said, who was like, oh, you're never really free. Okay, great. So you can't compete at the $32 trillion level, but you can do really well for your family and your community and people and live in an amazingly intentional life. Though I mean, the shareholders, they're everywhere. I mean, I don't know when you mean who are. If you're looking for a conspiracy, you're probably not going to find it here because it's just, there's a whole heck of a lot of funds that have thrown into BlackRock. And BlackRock has further thrown in with their capital allocations into everything else. But let's take it down to the laughing truth level. And let's go through some things. Advice, please. I've been a real estate agent. I can't get above. You know what? I absolutely could help you with that. I really could. Um, yeah. I averaged, I think I held at any given time about 65 listings when I was an agent. This is a long, long thing. I know when you say they're private, brother, that's the truth. I understand that, but also it's where they're getting their allocations from other capital things. BlackRock is not self-funded. They've got money that they've got into other things, and then they've also got, I don't mean public as in a publicly traded company that way. That's not what I mean. I mean, it's not like BlackRock just only is using their own money to leverage into what they're doing. Okay, so let's talk about trailer parks for a second. Let's talk about trailers because this is an interesting thing. If BlackRock is going in to whoever said that and picking off everything under $500,000, they can't be lean enough to do the stuff that is like, you know, 100,000 or 90,000 or 30,000 or 40,000. So let's go to the data points. And if I were a writing person, I would write this down. What is the average age of a mobile home park owner in this country right now? 68. 64, 68. Don't hold me down that. Okay? So that's retirement age. Now let's think about this. I just want to step you through the thinking. And by the way, I am a Renaissance man. If you guys ever want to tell me that this money stuff is boring, you can give me a thumbs down and I will switch immediately to talking about the hero's journey and how to have an incredibly intentional life without necessarily having to have faith or hope in anything. Doesn't matter if you do or you don't, but you can have an incredible intentional life following the hero's journey. And this is something that I've developed by spending 25 years away from video games and television and movies and all that. And now I'm rejoining the world. Okay. So if the average age is 64, 68 in a trailer park, and now I want you to think about that. Mom and pop, right? 86% of them are owned by mom and pop. Okay. So they've been doing the repairs and fixing stuff up as they've been going. And now that's like, you know, he's just getting tired. He can't really do the work that he used to do. Now let's talk about, okay, so we have some units in our park that are just garbage and we don't want them to look like crap. So we pulled them out. Now we have vacancies. We have lots, right? You working with me? So we've got some homes, some are rentals, some are owned by the tenants. And then we've got, you know, we've got 14 units and we have 8 spaces empty. Okay, let's run the math on this. What if they said, in front of you in real estate, wouldn't they just want to bring in mobile homes? Or we're supposed to call it manufactured housing. Wouldn't they want to bring in manufactured housing to fill up those 8 spaces to maximize their yield, increase their equity in the property, to improve even a cap rate that they could sell it at, all that kind of stuff? Wouldn't they want to do that? Sure. How? How? Go look at the data. You want to go buy a manufactured home and throw it into a space. Check this out. 1,100 square feet from Clayton Homes, biggest home builder. I think it's Clayton. I was looking at this. Purchase price. Wait for it. Wait for it. $120,000. $120,000. And then there's a 7-month waiting period. Okay. So this couple, 64, 68 years old, right? They're kind of wanting to get out of real estate. They got 14 units in their park, but they got 8 vacancies. And he turns to her and he says, honey, I know we're wanting to retire, but I'd like to spend 8 times $120,000. That's $960,000. I want to go $1 million in debt so we can have 8 more rentals. What do you think? Shall we do that? You guys picking up what I'm laying down? Are you tracking so far? Do me a favor. I just need to know if you're tracking, because if you're not, I don't waste people's time or anything like that. I'll just be like, okay, it went over or didn't land. That's okay. But do me a favor. If this is connecting, just give me some sort of feedback. You can hit the like button or you can go yes or no, whatever you want to do. So I'd appreciate just some of the feedback to know that I'm not over talking it or under talking it or going above your head. Great, Jay. Thank you very much. Okay. So do you think that someone who's 68 years old who's looking to retire is going to go, oh, let's spend $1 million and wait 7 months? Terrence! Hey, buddy, how are you? Oh my God, it's my buddy Terrence. I have not heard from you in a long time. Terrence, I went away from TikTok for a long time, buddy. And I've been gone for 5 months, by the way. And I think that I am called by the universe to be back and share this message. Okay, here we go. So now you come along and you go, all right, you look at this park and it's got 8 homes and then it's got 4 more, let's just say an example, that are beat up, really, really in bad shape. What is the going price if you took a beat up 1980s mobile home in a park, fixed it up completely, floor to ceiling, everything, and just did it really nice? I'm not going to go live with anybody. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to turn off the invites for this. And it's usually going to be something gross and not there. 15K, real close. Okay. So let's say, and I'm with you on the 15K, by the way. I think you're right there. But let's say you found a contractor, builder, and you said, look, man, I don't want to pay you 15K. I'm going to pay you 20. But I need you guys to run this thing all the way through and knock it out in a week and a half. If you do it in a week and a half, you get 20. Every day after that, it starts to go down. Would it be worth it from the time period to take a beat up trailer and to throw a bunch of money into that? Does this not sound like the dumbest idea you guys have ever heard, for real? That you're going to actually rehab a freaking mobile home? Does that not sound like the stupidest idea? What do you think? Here's what's interesting. Back to our realtor person. In Dallas, if I had a completely rehabbed trailer in a park that I wanted to sell, somebody could get title to it and own it, how much would they pay for that? I hope our realtor friend is still here, because she would know this. What do you guys think? Totally remodeled. It's a doable idea, but how much would it sell for? So you throw this 20,000 into it. You bought it for 10. Now you're into 30, and you threw 20,000 into it. And how much would it sell for when you're done with it? 120? Okay. I think it's possible. I would say an aggregate, an average in different markets and everything else like that. 5,000? No, it would not sell for 5,000. You could buy a beat up one for 5,000 and throw the money. I'm talking if it's 100. Are you saying 100,000? Okay, 90,000. All right, I'm with you guys. I think it's 90,000, 80 to 90,000 for sure. Easy all day long. So I see these, no, I see these people that I have a respectful disagreement on TikTok telling people how to do real estate, and they're going, you could buy a duplex, and if you do this, and if the sun is shining right, and Mercury's not in retrograde, and you up their cable bill by $12, you can walk away with a $100 cash flow, positive cash flow. And I'm like, oh my God, why? Why would you do that? You're going to spend all this time because we have a bias, and our bias is, uh, oh, I don't want to own a trailer. Isn't that where poor people and blue collar people live? No, that is a complete. I was talking to a family office. If you guys, do you guys know that term, family office? LA family office, and that's an investment firm. They were a hedge fund, and I said, look, guys, I'm not at your scale. I don't really want to meet with you guys. There you go. Dallas, Texas real estate. Okay, so you're picking up what I'm laying down. So let's stop focusing on buying the over inflated under $5,000, $500,000 real estate market that is so competitive because of corporations coming in, and 25% of all houses under 500,000 are being bought as investment property. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is that now we have no affordable housing for people to start out their lives. We're going to tell a 22-year-old kid, hey, welcome to your life, and I know you're going to be getting married in a month, and you work as an assistant manager at Pep Boys, but here's your starter home at 325 at a freaking interest rate of 7.5%. Can we just stop? Seriously? I'm annoyed by that. All right. So you guys are getting where I'm going. This is why I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parks now. And I'm going to try to buy, if I can pull this off, with this fund, I would like to buy 2 or 3 more per month for the next year or more. Because if you treat it right and actually go in and invest, yeah, see, Terrence, you knew I'd be doing something. He's like, I knew you'd be doing something. I got quiet. And then you go, when this dude gets quiet, something's going on. Yeah, that's exactly right. Plus, I read 90 books on investment banking and said I need to learn how to be an investment banker running a private equity fund. So that's a huge switch. So many families here are moving in together to save money, right? And what if you could solve that by making an affordable housing option that was, um, our vibe is Amish tech. That's our thing. So imagine a house that if you take care of it and you treat it right, that you're going to be passing it on to your great grandchildren. Can you guys vibe with me for a second? Trailer park, depreciating asset. Sorry, not trailer park, trailer, depreciating asset goes down in value. Oh, make it wood built, Amish style construction, um, using the technology that we're using, and you have something you're going to be giving to your man, Aaron. You know what? That's exactly the market. Because what we do now, check this out. We are creating a new. Okay, first off, are you tracking so far with with what I'm doing? I buy beat up parks, I clean them out, I make the landscaping beautiful, I remanage it, I set this up, and I put owners in rather than renters. It's a great play, and you make a ton of money. What I would do if you guys are just starting out is this. Maybe, Aaron, think about this. Maybe you could buy a trashed trailer somewhere, and maybe they could start using their sweat equity and start doing the work over time on it. Um, because what I'm trying to do, so are you guys tracking what I'm doing and why I've been away for 4.5 months and haven't shot any TikToks? Um, Richter Schneider, Richter Schneider. Sprichst du auch Deutsch? June Kelly, 285. Terrence Brooks, yeah. Terrence, by the way, to all of you, he's gonna move himself into a Sprinter van. He's gonna travel around the country because that's his jam. Peace and love, thank you. Okay, good. So if we've tracked that so far, now let's talk about it. Why are we chasing against inventory that BlackRock is bidding against? Does that make any sense? Okay, so the strategy again is this. You guys, to scale into it, could just buy one beat up trailer and spend $15,000, $20,000 rehabbing it. And then you have two things you can do. Either, hello, nice. So watching your channel on the TikTok. Aha, das ist aber schon gut. Ich kann auch Deutsch, wenn Sie wollen. Richter. Ich war Austauschschule. So anyway, so back to the strategy. If you were to go in and say, cool, I'm just going to spend my time rehabbing these things, what we have is we have a massive housing shortage. And so that's putting upward pressure on stuff. And I don't want to push all of the blue collar people out. That's not my game. My game is to instead make what they're doing, because I love blue collar people, I love middle class people, I love all that, to give them a better dignified experience and of how they're living. So instead of having them be renters, let's turn them into owners. How wicked is that? Okay, so you could also do what our Dallas agent just said and said, I sold one in a beat up park for $120,000. You guys get it? I have a park outside of Atlanta that has so much pressure on it right now that I'm getting people wanting to buy these things for $90,000 or $100,000 still trashed. Can you imagine? However, however, there's more, because that's not what I'm doing. And this is on my life. This is not what you guys are doing, but if it's interesting, I'll share with you kind of what my jam is and what I'm doing. I want to create a new asset class. So as the capital markets are running away from equities and crypto, and they're saying, hey, we need to go into asset-backed securities, they're looking at single families, they're putting all this pressure in the real estate market. And I'm going, cool story, bro. You go do your BlackRock thing. You make me sick. I don't want to be any party. You make me sad for the country. Go do your thing. I'm going to be over here, and I'm going to save the world in my own way. Okay, I know. But actually, that's what that's what I think I'm doing. So what I'm doing is, this is some math I want you guys to think about. I have a manufactured home. It has wheels on it. I take it into a location. It's a depreciating asset because it has wheels on it. Oh no, it goes down. It's going to be with zero in 15 years. Hold on. I take the manufactured home. I take the wheels off of it. I put it onto a foundation of blocks and everything and strap it down and everything. Oh, now it's real property versus personal property. Personal property has wheels, a car, a boat, even though a boat doesn't have wheels, it's personal property, and that goes down in value. But you take the wheels off and put it on a foundation, and suddenly it's real property and it goes up in value. Does that make any sense to you guys? Did the asset actually really change, or is it just the fact that it's attached to the ground? Did it even change? I mean, if that makes sense to you, and I've been doing this a long time, somebody can explain it to me and I will listen. I promise. So that doesn't make any sense. Here's this thing we bring in on wheels, so it goes down in value. Oh, we take the wheels off, it goes up in value. Oh, we put wheels back on. And I'm like, hey, what if I put one wheel on and not the other one? What does it do? It's just silly. So I researched, and this is the way that I think. As I said, this is a quant, and I'll probably be talking over you, and I apologize, but that's just, I'm sharing my life, man. What if you created a brand new asset class? So you think multifamily, commercial, class A, class B, class C, single family, duplex, fourplex, okay, trailer, park owned or park model RV, manufactured home. Oh, what are the ones manufactured offsite? Not manufactured home, modular home, stick built offsite and then put down. Here's these asset classes, right? But what if I did this? What if I built my wood homes? You can look up lincolnblock.com and see what we're doing with our partnership with them. And what if I built them all this way so that they were amazingly robust? Now, how do you set a value for that? If we're building our own thing, how do you set a value? We're not competing against a mobile home. Respectfully, F that. Those things are going to fall apart in 10 years. They have an R value of 6, 4 to 6. Land included or not with modular home? Well, modular is different than manufactured. Just beware. Modular home is where they build it stick built off-site and then set it onto foundation. So usually there's land included when you're buying it that way. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about manufactured homes. And we're talking about if it is on wheels, and depending on the size of it, it could be a park model RV up to 400 square feet, or it could be 1,100 square feet or more, and it could be a mobile home, aka manufactured home. But my point is this: if I build them out of wood and our R value is 37 instead of 6, you will not find a house with an R value of 37. Anybody in construction or building or anything on this channel, can you tell me you will not find 37 R value? We do. So we're building these tiny houses that are better built than the house that you're living in. You'll give it to your grandkids. All you got to do is take care of it a little bit, and you've got an asset. So why in the hell shouldn't that be an asset that appreciates incredibly well? It should. But we can't sell capital markets on that because they'd say, oh, well, technically we think you're a mobile home, so it's going to go down in value. Oh, we think you're an RV. Oh, we think you're this. So how am I going to do it? This is where I excel. I love impossible problems because I'm an unstoppable force. And I will just bang on something until I figure it out. So check this out. The first 1,000 of these that we do, I have big goals. I do. I want my fund to have $80 million in assets by the end of this year. I want to do 1,000 of these where we finance them for people. Check this out. They don't go to a bank. They don't get a loan. Um, right. Straw bale, super adobe have values greater than 36 that require land to begin with. Right. Exactly. If you are into that, bring in light, which I'm so into it. By the way, I've built straw bale before. Um, we need an interim thing in between concrete and some of these other sustainable materials. Go look up lincolnblock.com and what I'm doing. Um, so here's the thing. If I want to create the market, I don't want to chase the market. I think bigger than that. I've been doing this too long to want to go and chase some little thing. So what if I financed all of these first 1,000 homes that we're building? And what if I financed them to people without a bank? No bank at all. So you come in and you guys are following me and it's making me feel guilty because I don't know. I really think I've got to start producing content. Just roll with it because my content is going to be a lot about the hero's journey and how to find peace and joy and an incredibly powerful, compelling path without having to use religion or something like that. So that's what I teach also. Um, I'm just saying I don't want people to think of it like, oh, we want to hear about the real estate and this dumbass is talking about woo-woo stuff. Okay, here's the thing. If I finance all of these without a bank, now I go, well, I have 1,000 of these. They're financed at $115,000. That's the market. I've made the market and I've created a new asset class in real estate. If you guys knew how, these are pretty lofty goals, but yeah, so anyway, if you ever want to see our projects, we've got stuff going in Oklahoma, Georgia, and Kansas soon, and then just north of Dallas, Texas. Um, there's going to be one that we will be picking up, I think, in about, I don't know, probably about 13 days. Questions from you beautiful people. Questions, questions, questions. Do you have anything? Because if, like, seriously, I can rant and, sorry. Shoot, I'm trying to press buttons. I can rant all night about stuff, but that doesn't mean anything. My goal here and my goal for being on this planet is to create value for you guys to give you stuff to think about that you might never have thought about. So have any of you thought about this idea like, oh my gosh, I could buy a beat up mobile home and I could fix it up and I could either keep it as an asset, keep it as a rental, or I could sell it and make a bunch of money better than I could with stick belt. I want to start. Yeah, heck yeah. Whatever I can do to help, I'm always happy to help people with, send me an email, do whatever you need to do with that. I had a Discord channel. I think I've shut it down. I think I'm shutting it down because I have a team that I'm working with, and I'm kind of committing myself to. And this is a funny thing. Okay, let's see. I want to start from within the confines of your own beautiful mind. You offer solutions for us all. Thanks, Bring on the Light. I hope so. I would like to. Can I change your wording there? Because it's not the confines of my beautiful mind, my friend. It's not. This is coming. My mind is just. Whoop, it's just an antenna. And if I believe that I'm focusing it on the highest good and trying to do the best that I can in this world, um, then amazing things really truly happen. Um, if you were a Christian, you would say, with God, all things are possible. Um, but, there we go. But I don't think it's from the confines of my mind. I thought about starting one, didn't think about buying one. That's probably smarter. When you're saying starting one, Peace and Love says Danke, and I say Bitte. You have improved my words. Yeah, cool. Um, I would love to see you guys take advantage of something because we have such an inefficient market. We're about to have the overnight lending rate for the Fed is about to be bumped up another percent. That's going to affect interest rates. Interest rates will probably hit 7.75 on a 30-year mortgage. Don't go into that. Do not become a slave to debt that way, you guys. Please, 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 please don't. Ego Ascendo. How are you? Or I don't know if it's Ascendo or Accendo because it's kind of a ego Accendo. Ego Ascendo. Is there an S in there? I don't know. Anyway, um, so what questions do you guys want to ask me? We're facing a time of. I wonder if I want to share that. Yeah. In my master's degree, I did a lot of predictive modeling behavior. I'm thinking of putting it all on the roulette wheel. If that brings you joy and happiness, do it. Um, I think the irony would be if you would win, what would you do? I'm not sure you'd be happy if you won. Might be happier to lose it all. How'd you go about building your fund as to finance outside of bank? When you're saying building our fund, why we're doing the 506B. You can look up Series D 506B if you want, Terrence, um, because we're taking debt investors who want a yield on their money and they want to do all that kind of stuff and everything. Um, and then we're turning around and doing projects with that, whether it's the acquisition of the park, the financing of the homes, the creation of the Lincoln Block homes, etc. Like for example, this week, or is it next week? This week or next week, our guys are going out to. We just bought a park in Fairland, Oklahoma, or maybe Fairlane. I can't remember. But anyway, there's like 7 burned out trailers there. And these guys are like, oh, we'll get rid of the trailers for you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, 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 no. So we're going to strip all the aluminum off of it, keep the frames, pull them to our other park, and build on them. Boom. Say what? 2020. Follow the host. Sandfleet. Ooh, really? Sandfleet? Come on. Florida in the house. Well, I lived in Florida. Sandfleets suck. They hurt. Um, so, Terrence, when you're saying how would I go building your fund so as to finance outside of a bank, do you mean how would I go building my fund? Because remember, my cost basis for these is the cost of construction. Yeah, do you have any advice to become your own bank? I've thought about it for a long time and everything. I wouldn't do that. If I was going to go that route, I would become my own credit union. It is possible. You have to have 21 members with a common interest. You have to have really strict qualifications and checking out the backgrounds of the principals involved. I think you have to have personal investment in it of 400,000, something like that. Oh, how? Okay, so I would not become my own bank. I think that's a silly play, honestly, ego. I was asking about how you were going about it. I know you did something very specific, so I still wanted to hear about it. Yeah. So for my fund, I'm going to be launching, and now we're switching guys from real estate to we're kind of talking about private equity terms, aka syndication terms, aka hedge fund terms, and all that. So I'm switching gears a little bit because Terrence asked that question. Um, so we're going to be releasing a fund where we're going to have some people that want a very conservative, just a yield on their money. And so we'll probably fix that yield we'll give them 12% return on their money with a 5-year amortization with a loan to value, and this is loan to value is how much you're exposed. You would never want to lend money and go, oh, the house is worth 100,000, I'll lend 100,000. No, 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 no. You want to say it's worth 100,000, I'll lend 50,000. You want to be at a low loan to value because that protects your equity, if that makes sense. And I speak really fast, you guys. Did you get that, or did I say that really too fast? Just curious, because I speak really fast, and I'm hitting you guys with hardcore, heavy real estate stuff. I hear country music playing now. Can you hear that? Okay. Why I like and need to be in the country. I've never locked my doors. I don't lock anything up here because it is everyone's got guns and it's like mess around, you're gonna find out how it is. I also like living in the city. I need to have both. Okay. I'm completely new to this stuff, so I'm trying to soak in the knowledge. Yeah, man, ask questions. There are no dumb questions for sure. That's really a truism. There are lazy people, and if you're being lazy about something like, can you tell me how to look up this? I'm not going to help you. But if you're asking a question, because remember what I'm doing is this is the fun part. I took all these new people who have no background in real estate, and I proceeded, oh, you're going to love this. And I proceeded to Um, People know my intentions. They know that I come from a space of love. But now I'm going to beat the hell out of you. And we're going to hammer you until you become tough as nails. And so I took brand new people in real estate, 14 people, and have leveled them up. So they're doing this kind of stuff. This is stuff that people in real estate for 25 years are like, what are you doing? I don't understand. And I'm taking brand new people and leveling them up. It's an interesting question I got asked yesterday. If I didn't have all these people doing this, would I still be doing this? And it was an interesting thing. No, of course not. And that made me feel really good for a minute, just because I was like, I'm not I'm not Jesus and I'm not being some altruistic person because there's a lot of money in this. Um, but I really wouldn't be doing it if it was just me. The best part about that is seeing all these people level up. Do you guys want to do you want an example of something and so you can hear how a just a normal person can level up that way? I want to share a story if you don't mind. And Ego, you said I'm completely new. I'm trying to soak in the knowledge. If you guys have any questions about anything so far, though, please ask. I go so fast and I cover so much, and all of it's real world stuff. None of this is somebody with a whiteboard. You could invest your money into this crypto and make 20 cents. No, this is real deal. Okay, so I have a park in Dallas, Georgia that somebody owned, and they were not doing it right. And they said, I'm in deep trouble. I've got 7 trashed units. James, I'm going to give you a warning. Please don't say stuff that is I don't know if that's a bad thing on. Remember, you're talking to someone that doesn't know how to navigate this stuff. You know what I mean? And so I'm going to give you one warning. If you say anything stupid, I got to ban you. Please don't. Um, so park, I don't own the park. They are in deep trouble on it and have a whole bunch of wrecked units. Okay? I went in and said, I'll fix them all up. When they're fixed up, I'll collect the rent from them and I'll pay you the lot rent. And so the owner goes, wow, I don't have any money to do this. I don't have anything like that. But all of a sudden, I'm going to get $400 lot rent times 7 units from this guy. I'm going to get 2,800 bucks a month and I didn't have to spend out any money. Hell yes, I'll take the deal. Okay? So I think I spent what am I at? I think I spent like $88,000, probably something like that. Does that sound right? About 13,000 a piece, whatever that ends up being. Something like that. About $88,000. And rehabbed all these homes. Now you go, what? But let's think about it. This is in an area outside Atlanta that has massive market demand. The cheapest one that I have rented is $1,200 a month. The most expensive is $1,400 a month. So let's just average it out and say 13. $1,300 a month times, okay, and remember we're giving away 300 for lot rent. So $1,000 a month. So that is 7 units times $1,000 a month cash flow. That's $7,000 a month. 7,000 times 12 is what? 84,000. You guys following the math so far? And what did I say I spent? I think I spent 91. So if you take 84,000 divided by 91,000, you probably get that I have a cash on cash return on my investment of about 92%. Stop it. Do you guys, and did it, if I said that too fast, please, please, please ask me to say it again because I did not mean to go over your head. Um, but my point is, do you see what an insane rate of return that is? To go, wow, I'm making 92% on my money. Are you guys clicking? Is that clicking with you? Okay, I'll just use one of the examples. Just use one of them. I have a unit that cost me $13,000 to rehab. Okay, I rehab it. These are all done now. This is what's cool. And then I have rented it for $1,300 a month. I pay $300 a month in lot rent, so I'm clearing $1,000. $1,000 times 12 months means my net operating income is $12,000 for the year, divided by what did it cost me to earn that? $13,000. So my yield is 12,000 divided by 13,000, which is probably like, I can do this in my head, 6.5, 93.5%. Anthropology and history. Fantastic. Oh, okay. Times 12 for the year. I just want you guys to see I am never going to, because I'm not selling you a damn thing. I'm not doing anything, you know? Um, what I want to share is that I am a fan of middle class people. It's my passion. The very rich I can't affect, but I got a story about that. And the very poor, I don't think that's my path in life to reach out to the very, very poor people. It's just not. And so my thing is if I can keep the middle class about what this country is all about, of saying there's more than just being a slave to a 40-hour work week, you know? There's more than just punching a clock. And this is accessible. Let me ask you a question, an honest question, because, and this is my gut check with you guys, is what I talked about is at least something that you get your brain around. You go, oh, you're just fixing up a trailer, keeping it as a rental. Is that something that seems at least accessible to you? Like, oh, you know what? I understand that. That's something that's at least within the realm of possibility. Like, I'm not talking above your head, am I? Do you feel like you can get your brain around it? Because what I'm trying to be is I'm trying to be the antidote for this. You spoke about creating a strong mindset with your students. Why is that so important for real estate? I don't think it's important for real estate. I think it's important for everything. And I'm going to tell you two things about it. So, my company is going to be called Crucible Capital Management. Why is that wicked? Well, if you guys have ever had a chemistry class and you had that ceramic dish and you put your reagent and all that in and you heat it up to an intense pressure to see what the reaction is, well, that's called a crucible. And it's how I live. And Terrence knows this. I am not easy on people. I am pretty rough by holding up a mirror and going, what do you want to do here? How's this going to end? What's it about? And I do kind of beat on people to wake up and live their life the best way they can. So my company's Crucible Capital Management, all the people that have survived that are still with me as part of my team have all gone through that crucible. Hi, Mark Roth. I'm back. Um, hold on, I'm going to answer some of these questions, and then I'm going to go back to Crucible. Creating a strong mindset with your students. I don't know if I would say mindset. Why is that important for real estate? I don't think it's mindset. It's what would it be like to do something so freaking cool that every day you woke up and you're excited to go to work? What time did I wake up this morning? 5. What time did I go to bed last night? 2. I'm really excited about what I do. And I own a bunch of companies and I do a bunch of stuff. I love my life. It could not be any better. And my goal here is try to show people how to become free mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, socially, physically, etc. Um, so mindset is an interesting thing because I don't want to over intellectualize what we're doing. Like uh, when I think mindset, sometimes I think life hack, and that might not be accurate. Okay. Um, including the very poor. I better roll scroll up. So you may not directly reach out to them. However, your strategy can help all levels of social strata. Yeah, I'm back too. Please go ahead and answer them. Uh-oh. Go ahead and answer them. What am I answering? You guys always make me nervous that I think I've missed something. I hope I didn't. Um, so what we've talked about is we've talked about a strategy that I just want to see if I've added value to you guys by you guys going, you know what, I could actually do that. How many of you, by a show of hands, or I don't know if you can show hands, how many of you feel like you're like, you know what, I actually could do what this dude is talking about. I really could do that. Does that seem like I'm talking out of my ass, or um, does that seem like, this is something that's a possibility? So Mark, who just joined us here, you know, he understands what I'm doing because Mark, I want to share what I don't know if you heard it, but I was giving the results of the trailer project that I did, which watch how fast I can talk to Mark because he gets this. Um, so I did 7 trailers, rehab costs on each one aggregated out was, about 12,000, maybe 13,000 a piece to rehab. Rented for $1,300 a month, $300 goes to lot rent. My net is $1,000 per month on these times 12, $12,000 per month. 12,000 divided by 13,000 gives me my yield that I'm doing. Um, oh, Mark, by the way, is making consistent 40% returns in equities, the things that I just told you guys to run from. So he is a hell of a lot smarter than I am in that. If you have questions about that, ask Mark for sure if he's willing to share. You break down complex issues very simply, presenting your strategy and goals is very attainable. I hope so. All I want is for you guys to take action. That's all I want. You guys would make me so freaking happy. Um, I got a guy who the most amount of money that he's ever made is $41,000 a year, and he's part of my team. And do you know how cool it is that his first year, he's going to be at 52,000. Listen, 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 listen. Passively. 52,000 passively. And I'm like, so all of a sudden he went from, well, I don't really know, I'm not sure. And I'm like, dude, if you act negative with me, I will beat you to death. I can't say that. I'm just being funny. But I'm like, but just let's just not have to have an opinion. Let's not say yes or no. Let's not be Pollyanna, and let's not also be intrinsically cynical. Let's just do things and see what happens. So there you go. Um, G dollar signs. H sin 23. Welcome. Um, so that is my strategy. My goal with my 506B is if I have to do 2 series, I'll do it. But I would like to knock out and get up to $75 million in these funds. The whole thing is a bond, basically. You bet. Except check this out. So, see, Mark is coming from the financial world, whereas I come from the syndication real estate world. So he's talking about what you're doing is doing a debt investment, and then there's an equity kicker. When you take something like, here's some cool math on a park. We're doing some real estate math. And I think I talked about this before, that every time I bring in a trailer and respectfully, you look like the guy in American Pickers. I don't know. I don't watch television, so I haven't watched it in 25 years. So I'm not going to know. Unless it's a movie, I probably wouldn't have seen it. But hopefully that's not being mean. I just don't want people to be mean. So here's the thing is there's two plays here. And what Mark is referring to is that, when you rehab one of these units and you go and you put your sweat equity because you're just starting out, you don't have millions of dollars to invest, and you do one of these and you go, wow, I've just created a passive income of $1,000 a month. That's a hell of a lot better than you can do by buying a duplex, and your exposure is less. But then the other thing Mark was talking about is there's also equity. You have something that you could sell off, which is really pretty cool. So yeah, Mark, thanks for sharing that for sure. Um, so going, I'm going to turn a light on out here. Hold on a second. Burp, burp. It's getting dark. Um, so that's the strategy that I'm doing with the fund. That's the strategy that I'm doing with the team. It's really an exciting time. And I will tell you one last thing, which is kind of funny. When I went to LA, and this was sort of wild, I went to LA and any questions on equities, bonds, or options, let me know. Options. Mark, do you know what? I was talking to a friend of mine today. Oof, this made me feel sick to my stomach because these are real things, but with the stagflation that we have, and I don't care if people don't believe me, with the stagflation that we have, and we talk about, wow, we've got supply chain issues in this country. Gee, they didn't have bread when I went to the store this week, or something like that. We can laugh about that stuff and go, yeah, okay, that's something there. But then I sit there and I think about other countries where it's like the entire country is crashing. If I were a different person, I can see taking short positions against entire nations. Do you guys get what I'm talking about? Like, that's hardcore. Man, I don't know. We're gonna have this. We're gonna be in this for 6 years, guys. That's the truth. I will debate and argue that until I'm blue in the face. Anyone that thinks that we're gonna have a V bottom on this, or that we're gonna have a soft landing, can just get lost, because that's not what's gonna happen. So I came inside. So hi, kitty, kitty. Um, Mark, what do you think? 6 years? That's my take. I'm trying to move this camera. Sorry. Hi, kitty, kitty. Hi, kitty, kitty. Yeah. So thoughts on Bitcoin. don't know how to answer this correctly for you. My intentional community, my tribe, my people, whatever you want to say. Hey, hush. I usually say, hey, here's an idea, guys. I'm thinking about this, but I had a long time ago that I said, hey, I'm not asking, I'm telling you, I need each of you to buy 5 Bitcoin. It was at $200 at the time. And I said, go buy 5 Bitcoin, don't touch it, put it in a paper wallet offline, and then come back and thank me later. And so that's been my strategy, is to hold Bitcoin. Yeah. Real estate is going to get crushed, but probably not yours. 6 years, hard for me to project that time out. Yeah, I know. That's that predictive modeling. You can look up Bruce Benedict Mosqueda and Ford, the Predictioneers game and all that. That's where I have my quantitative analysis from. Dude, something made you happy today? Holy crap, man. I picked up eggs for my chickens. I looked at my bunnies, and that was fun. I spent a lot of time sitting outside. I took a nap in my tiny wee cabin because I didn't get much sleep last night. I made some wonderful food. I watched a movie that I don't know if I like it yet. I've only about 20 minutes in, called World War Z. And I don't know if it's good or not. Can't really tell. So, yeah, man. And you know what? My antenna is tuned into, hopefully, the highest good that I can create on this planet. And I'll tell you about what made me the happiest thing. Check this out, man. Hey, cat. Hey, if you can't be quiet, I'm gonna have to throttle you. No, I would never throttle a cat. What made me the happiest is I was outside meditating, and I was like, should I be producing content on TikTok? And it was sort of a big thing, because I was like, I don't know that it's serving me. I don't know if I'm talking above people. I don't know if it's something I want to do. I don't know if it's if it's right. And then this overwhelming thought came to me, which was, what if it's not about you? And that made me really happy, going, you know what? I've had so many people reach out to me and say, dude, my life is so much better. Thank you for helping me with X, Y, and Z. Thank you for, and this isn't like Renaissance. This isn't just real estate or money. This is all kinds of areas. And that made me feel like, I'm honoring this universe. I'm honoring and being appreciative for the time that I have here. So that made me really super, super, super happy. Buying Ethereum every 2 weeks. That's great, man. Is the S&P going to crash? I don't know if the S&P is going to crash, but I do not believe that the blood is anywhere near stopping right now. Jenny Ellensburn, Fed knows what it's doing. Oof. All right. So Mark, my question is, yeah, but dude, we should have raised interest rates like 600 basis points a long time ago. And just, if we're really serious about this, because what we're having is, I don't want to hear about the war. I don't want to hear about any of that crap. This is what we've had from having loose monetary policy since quantitative easing third quarter of 2009. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Ego says, you also gave me guidance months ago about finding a new quest. Life needs a grand quest to achieve. Did you do it? Let's hear it. I want to hear it. By the way, any of you can go live with me if you want to go be on as a guest. I would love to hear your new quest and a grand quest. So that would have been probably the last time that I was on, because I haven't been on for like 4.5 months. Did you find your grand quest? Ego, did you? Are you doing it? If not, why? Justin Duff Zero, welcome. How are you? And Terrence, it made me really happy. That's another thing. I've seen Terrence on and off for a couple of years now, and Terrence is a person that likes to get into his head, likes to get all into his head and think about thinking. And then some idiot like me comes along and said, if you're thinking about something, you're not doing it. You getting that? If you're thinking it, you're not doing it. I want to become a holistic doctor. Studying will be a long road. Oh my gosh. Do you guys hear this? I want, and then immediately throws up a very long road. I am a holistic doctor. It's an incredible journey. I want to be a holistic doctor. It's a long road. Oh well. Um, what steps have you taken to become Raymond? What are you doing to become a holistic doctor? Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah. Right on, man. Act as if. Um, True story. And Mark, you'll laugh at this because you know this world better than I do by far. I can speak syndication. I can turn an apartment into a condo. I can develop land. I can do all that kind of stuff. But when it got to the investment banking thing, I was like, I don't know this world at all. None of it. And so a friend gave me what's called the Goldman Sachs War Chest. And that is, you want to be an investment banker? You better know all these books and all these articles upside down, backwards, and forwards. So I dove in and I learned all that. And my self-talk, I want to share this with you because in case you guys think that I'm like, oh, there's no adversity in my life and everything's perfect. Cat, I need you to be quiet. This is not my cat. I am watching someone's cat. So if I don't want to yell at the cat, my alternative is maybe I'll give the cat a little bit of extra food. There. Sorry, guys. Shall I turn on some more lights? Yeah. So going back to this investment banker stuff, I read the Goldman Sachs War Chest to, this is how to become an investment banker. And my self-talk the whole time, you guys, was this. And I'm being totally honest with you. It was like, yo, dude, you're too old to do this. You should have done this in your 20s. You don't know what you're doing. You're too stupid. You have already peaked. This is a years ago thing. You're not there. Why are you trying to do this? And so my self-talk was quite negative. And then I would talk to that voice and I was like, cool, wow, that sucks that I suck so much. So my punishment is I'm just going to do it anyway. Okay. And so I did. And I'd go, I don't know what I'm doing. Keep going. I don't know what I'm doing. Keep going. I don't know what I'm doing. And to read 90 books in 4 months is fast, you know? I was very, 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 very driven. So point being is then this click happened where it was like, holy crap, I get this. I understand this. And it was wild. It was really wild. So anyway, I typically enjoy figuring out, I'm reading some comments real quick. And Mark said act as if, which I think is right. Terrence says, I typically enjoy figuring things out in my head, but I'm starting to get tired of overthinking. You're getting tired of you overthinking. Dude, I'm getting tired of you overthinking. I've been tired of you overthinking. Go remote, get your Mercedes Sprinter. Let's travel around the country. Let's get your health. Let's get your wealth. Let's get rocking and roll. Let's go. Mark, it is. It is. And it's, I swear to God, and let me qualify, not all of them were books. Some of them were pamphlets and stuff. And I swear to God, if I see another thing from Credit Suisse, I'm going to shoot. No, I can't say it. But anyway, Credit Suisse was driving me nuts. They have a couple offers that they're way into that I didn't care for. So, yeah, and it is insane, Mark. It is. But I also want to share this other part with you. And I think I told the story, and if I did, darn it, you have to hear it again, because this is just something I think is so funny. So then I got kind of a meeting in LA, and I flew down to LA, and I was at this party, and it was this room full of people. And not one of the people was a millionaire. There wasn't a single millionaire in that room. They were all billionaires. And it was just wild seeing the perspective. Best one I've ever read and reread is Art of War. It gives you everything you need to enter that world. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Sun Tzu is maybe too abstract for what I needed. Just to be honest, Mark, I think I've followed the warrior path for so many years. It wasn't really that. For me, it was I needed to be able to change the language for me from speaking real estate, cap rate, syndication, to go to speaking in terms of like waterfalls, yields, equity spreads, debt investing, equity kickers, all that kind of stuff you mentioned. It was learning the new words so I didn't sound weird, and also just having the confidence to talk to really, really super rich people. So I talked to all these billionaires, and the thing that gut checked me, and Mark mentioned when I was on my last live about, hey, wait a minute, Mark, did you look into my opinion and why I said what I said about Michael Milken? Because I said some very positive things about his philanthropy and what he's done, and then I think he was kind of set up. And so you did look at. So I'm not crazy. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm not crazy that he's not just. It's more nuanced than he's a parasitical scumbag who, bankrupted a bunch of people with junk bonds. I don't think that's really very fair. But anyway, uh, but while I was meeting with all these billionaires, they're like, what made you come up with this idea of investing at the rock bottom and turning things around? And I said, well, because they can't go any lower. You buy a beat up, broken mobile home and fix it up, it can't get less value than where it was. So I'm already hedged against any kind of devaluation. And I'm in a market that is immune to what the greater forces are doing. And so I feel like I'm a social capitalist, that I'm investing in people that way. And they're like, that's really cool. Where did you get that idea? And I said, well, honestly, I am a huge fan of Michael Milken. He taught me that. And when I was 32, I wrote him a letter thanking him for everything. I never heard back from him. And I'm talking to this billionaire lady. And she's like, oh, Michael Milken. She goes, yeah, I know Mike. I was at a party with him yesterday. Do you want to meet him? Come on. This is like one of your superheroes. And someone's like, oh, yeah, I was at a party with him. Do you want to meet him? And I went like this to her because I was like, of course I would love to meet him, but it was just sort of this thing of like operating at that level. And what's funny about that is this is listen to me carefully. I'm going to give you something, and if you want to write it down, write it down. You will never overcome your self-perception. Whatever your self-perception is the way your life is going to look. Becca says, hey, 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 hey. So you will never overcome your self-perception. And so what I try to do with the people that I work with is blow up their self-perception. Dr. Reckham, D. Reckham, welcome. Is I try to blow up their self-perception so that all of a sudden they're like, what the hell is going on? I'm doing stuff I never thought I was going to be doing. I'm doing stuff that's bigger than this. What am I doing? And suddenly they go, I can do this. And now they see themselves a different way. And they go from $41,000 active per year to $52,000 passive. You guys getting this? What do you think? Am I right on that you can never overcome your self-perception? So I had two huge things that happened within 13 days of each other. The first was finishing all those Goldman Sachs books and all the other study materials, and then realizing I can do this. This is real. This is happening. This is me starting a 506B fund. It might be a 506C. I hope I can do the B. Just working through that with attorneys right now. And realizing I can do a private equity fund where I can do debt investment and people that want to do equity investing. I can do that. This makes sense. That was the big epiphany. And then the second one was just hanging around billionaire people. And that was fascinating because St. Augie Doggy Dog, Stephanie Willett, H joined. So when I hung out with all those billionaire people, what's funny is one of them came up to me and goes, hey, so you're the guy doing all the real estate stuff. And I was like, yeah, uh-huh. And he goes, so go ahead, pitch me. Let's hear it. And I thought about it and I go, I don't really want to do that. I want to enjoy this party. And he goes, that's what everybody does. And I go, it's okay. I don't really need to do that right now. But I'll tell you what, give me about 2 weeks and I'll pitch you. It's really not that complicated. Just need the right lawyers and guidance. Check this out. And the money helps. Yeah, it does. What is also interesting to me about all these billionaires is every single one of them was in a lawsuit or suing somebody or being sued. Every single one of them. And I thought about that as I have a very middle class value system. Like, oh my gosh, there's a lawsuit. We have to sue somebody or we're being sued. And I've always taken it as a moral, aka egotistical thing of saying, oh, I'll never sue anybody. I don't believe in that. And I never have. But realizing, that's just the cost of business. That kind of changed things for me a little bit. Yeah. Questions about anything so far? It does come with the territory, but do you understand how like I'm being like I want to be vulnerable and authentic with you guys all the time. Do you see how that's kind of like a bigger thing for me to go, wow, suing people is just part of the game. It's just as Karl von Clausewitz would say in his book on war, war is just public policy by other means, right? Okay. Heaven Back 2018. Heaven Back 2018. I always love you guys' usernames. They're so good. Um, questions on the approach that we have of you guys being able to, right now, go find a beat up mobile home and do something with it, and to access real estate without buying courses, without over leveraging yourself. Oh, we went out and got a loan for $300,000 against a property worth $350. As an investment property, we had to put 20% down. So we put $60,000 down at a 7% interest rate. And then we did the rehab costs on top of it. And when we're done with that, we're clearing $150 a month. Are you kidding me? Stop. It's going to get more complicated for you, I think. Oh, Mark. Whew. Mark has tapped into something. I'm a great founder. Really good. My team, I have not seen The Triumph of the Will. I don't know if is that a movie or a show or what is it, or I can look it up. Triumph of the Will. Sounds like Nietzsche, for sure. Let me look it up. Triumph of the Will. 1935 movie. Triumph des Willens. Oh, a Nazi propaganda film. All right. So you know what, man? You know what? I can debate international politics with you all the time, but you don't need to come in here and talk about this stuff. Let's stay on topic a little bit, okay? I don't want to have to ban you, but I will, okay? And I'm not banning you for your belief system. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying let's keep it on point so you don't take advantage of someone dumb like me and make me look up a movie that I don't want to watch right now. Does that make sense? I do speak German, though. What Mark is talking about is he's saying it's going to get more complicated. And I had a long talk today about how I would shift out of my founder role when the time comes, because I am not the person to scale. I'm the person to be the genius sitting behind the curtain, pulling strings and doing stuff. I'm not the person to scale stuff, and I do not want to be a CEO. And so knowing that about myself is going to allow me to get this thing kicked off the right way, put it all together. I've got such a loving, kind, warm team that everyone has grown and is supporting each other and really likes each other as people. That's what a founder does. But I am not the scaling person. And so we've moved everything over to ClickUp, which is like Trello or Jiro or any kind of a project management board. And the complexity that it has is, I don't want to lose sight of the people. That's what I care about. Yeah. Is this boring to you guys? Am I talking above stuff that you understand, or is it, because I get the snapshot. Like there's a resort zoo in Nagasaki that has the capybaras, and I watch that all the time on TikTok because I really enjoy it. Any thoughts on the double slit experiment? Yeah. I think that we're going to realize that if we are part of this planet and we play games and animals play games and we have consciousness and self-awareness, and maybe there's limited self-awareness and other things we don't know, and we're all part of this planet and that's part of the universe, then I think we have to accept that consciousness is part of the universe. And so that means that what is going on around us is something that is being manifested. Okay. If you're successful, which I believe you, it's going to hurt when you have to walk through that door. No. You mean walk through the door of leaving and saying, I was the founder, now it's the CEO, I'm leaving and moving on to other things? Is that what you mean, Mark? So did I answer your, thanks, your double slit experiment? Okay, let's talk about the double slit experiment as Mark's answering that. Because I want to show you guys something. If I can turn this camera around, I have no idea how. I think it hangs up on it. Dang it. More? That's comment. No, that's not it. The next step is not going to run it like you. That's true. But check this out. I accept finality and I accept closing a book and I accept, I am really, really good with that. Like I've already told my team and they're panicked, but I was like, guys, I think you're probably going to have me till about the end of December or maybe the end of January, in that range. And that's it. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because then I'm going to walk into the forest. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, doesn't matter. Just, I'm telling you, this is a beautiful book that we're writing. And there's going to come an end to the page and we're going to close it. And when we do, it's up for you to decide how you want to go. But I've done my part, which is to set all of you free. And then I get to walk away. Because Mark, I have other companies that I haven't talked about. I can't talk about the other companies I run and all the other stuff that I do. But I think you're right. But I'm good with that. I have made friends with death. Death sits here all day long, right here. And I talk to death all day long. And I understand the finality of things. I understand the change. I understand I want it to look this certain way. There's a time and a place for that. I can do that as founder, but eventually it's ego getting in the way because things have to scale. But I want to talk about the double slit experiment for a second. See how we just went from, dang it, I really want to find out how to turn this camera around. Oh shit, is it hanging up? No, I don't want to end the live. Do any of you guys know how to turn the camera around? Interact? More? Hear your voice? Settings? Settings, comment settings, beauty count. All right, I can't really do it, so I'm going to have to just do this in a wonky way. I want you to look around this room for a second, okay? And I want you to look at the shelf, like the shelf corners. And I want you to see this line here and this line in the space between the banister railings, right? And the steps that were made. And every single thing that you see is in this entire space, every single thing you see began as an idea in someone's consciousness. Every single thing you see, and this blows my mind, you guys, like, okay, here's some seasonings over here. The shape of this container over here, and the size of this bottle and what this bag was made out of. Every single thing that you see started as an idea in someone's head. All of this painting on the wall started as an idea. The size of this tube to run the wood stove out began as an idea in someone's head. And so when you look around your own room or wherever you are and realize, damn, every single thing that I see was someone's life putting their energy and their consciousness into manifesting that in the real world. Okay, am I hippied out or am I losing you guys, or do you go, that's true, every single thing that I see is a manifestation of someone's consciousness? Are we on the same page about that? And you guys can go shut up and talk about real estate if you want, that's okay too. But are we on the same page that everything is a manifestation of someone's consciousness? And so many lifetimes and so many hours and years and decades and millennium of people's thoughts going into everything that's around us. And you want to tell me that we're not manifesting stuff in this universe? You want to really play that game with me? So double slit experiment is your consciousness, of course, is affecting whether it's going to show up as a pattern of waves or if it's going to show up as a, particles, right? So anyway, that's all I want to have to say about that. What else do you guys want to talk about? My goals this year, I want to go to Costa Rica towards the end of the year when it gets cold up in the Pacific Northwest. I want every single person that works on my team to not have a job within the next couple of months, that they're only working on our project and they don't have to work anywhere else. That's kind of cool. Terrence, I definitely know you know that. It's a manifestation through the physical body, except your consciousness. I am a non-local field theory person, that I think that our brains and what we see is the recipient of the thoughts, not the thinker of the thoughts. So, for example, without getting too woo-woo, when I went outside and I just sat there and I said, should I do TikTok or not? You know, is it serving me? I don't want to talk above people. I find it hard to relate to people sometimes because I don't have the same values of get rich quick or dance like a monkey or all this kind of stuff. And I'm trying to find something real and authentic. And then when this overwhelming thing said, it's not about you, it's about them. People need to hear what you have to say. And I was like, whoa, all right. And that's pretty narcissistic. People need to hear what I have to say. Why? No, you don't get to sit there and yell at me. That's not how this works. Come here. Come here. Oh my gosh. Just come here. Here we go. Just got it. Be a good goody. So I think if you guys think about it and were to spend some time, the cool part about this is I think all the answers, you don't need to read books. You don't need to study all these religious things like I did and all that. You can really just sit down and be with your own thoughts and go, if you are truly thinking your own thoughts, which you can, but if you're truly always thinking your own thoughts, then you should be able to stop them at any time. And since you can't, we have to go, well, then what's going on? And it could be neurological. It could be things pinging around and causing stuff between our neurons in our brain and all that. But it could also be something very different. It could also be that your brain might be an antenna. And if it's an antenna, it might be picking up stuff around there. And here's the other part. Even if that's all bullshit, if it's not true, it's a pretty good way of thinking, isn't it? Like, why wouldn't you want to tune into the best thing possible for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your people around you, for people that you love, for people that you hate? Why wouldn't you want the best thing for everybody? So that's my take on it. Okay, question time. Otherwise, I think we've run our course because we've covered everything from real estate. I've not talked about the hero's journey. I've spared you from that. When I come on next time, I'll talk about my own personal philosophy that I've worked through that I really appreciate because it doesn't require any hope or faith, but it's at the same time, it's a way of finding tremendous meaning and purpose and love and happiness. So that's my thing. Not that I have anything against hope or faith. Any questions from any of you guys about any of that stuff? Norm, I hope I give you some thoughts. Just look around. See, everything is a manifestation of consciousness. When you see it, you go, holy crap. Every single thing was designed by somebody or made by somebody or intentionally done that way, and your brain starts going. So anyway. Do any of you guys have any questions about the real estate strategy, about purpose, meaning, because I will hang out here for real. I like the fact that I am on this planet, here you go, to be able to be anyone in any way at any time in service to mankind. To be able to be, not act, not do. I can be anyone in any way at any time in service to mankind. That's my purpose on this planet. That's a very Renaissance man type of thing. I get that, or polymath, or whatever you want to say it. But we can talk about all kinds of different topics. If there's something that you want to talk about, I am completely open. Sweet peas, 62,950. I like sweet peas. So I'm gonna. What's been your biggest failure? Ooh, that's good. Jeez, so many. And I'm gonna be authentic and honest. Oh, I have a couple. I mean, I mentioned the one. I know this is trite and kind of boring. I should have sued people. That's one thing for sure. You know, when I had a lawsuit that was unjustly charged against me, and I beat it, and it was dismissed with prejudice and all this, and my attorney said, "You have got a massive civil suit, huge. It's a slam dunk. You need to go after them. It's way over 7 figures. You need to do this." And I said, no, I'm going to be nice about it. And I didn't do it. So not suing people, that's a trite answer. Let me talk about biggest failure. Okay, here's my one that comes to my mind. My daughter's 22. She's nearby. I have a great relationship with her. I love her. Everything's great. I love my son, and I'm so proud of him, and he's such a good kid. Well, he's 25. and he's married and he's doing his life, and that's what he's supposed to do and everything. But I raised him to be so independent that I just don't talk to him the way that I'd like to. I'd like to talk to him a lot more. He lives in another state, and he doesn't need to be interested in what I'm doing. I'm not trying to force that garbage on my kids or anything like that. Um, but I think that I would like to have more frequent communication because I'm truly interested in his life. So I would say maybe that's my biggest failure, but it's nothing that I can't um, redeem if that's, you know, I don't know. Is that a, I think that's my biggest failure, and that's not even all that far in the past, you know? Um, yeah, I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head. I mean, I have lots of little failures when I'm like I'm direct with people, and I'll say stuff, and I'm like, hey, listen, man, you need to, because I am hardcore in business, and I'm like, you need to get your shit together. Look at this. This is what you screwed up. Why are you doing this when you could have done this? You know that already. And there's no wrong answers. Making mistakes is great, but that's just laziness, and I don't tolerate it. Get your shit together. Do what you're supposed to do, and not always realizing that some people it hits them really hard, and that's I don't think that's a failure. But I always talk to them and I go, hey, you know that I have to say what's on my mind. It's kind of that Asperger type to the thing. I say what's on my mind and then I let it go. But I wonder, I mean, I try to be a benevolent leader, and I'm wondering if I'm reaching that. I hope so. So that's what I think. Biggest failure. Um, web dev, Nexus. I like web dev people. Stop yelling at me, cat. I can't help you. Any other questions for me? Do you guys want me to wrap this up? What would you like? Is there anything that you're like, tell me about X, and I'll do my best. I've had a very, 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 very wild life in the sense like teaching at university, teaching gifted children, being a medic, owning mortgage companies, owning restaurants, traveling all around the world. So I've done a bunch of stuff. When do you come in next time? I don't know, man. Maybe never. No, I'll be back. What's the first step we should take if we start buying mobile homes? I would say search your local area. Start searching in your local area to see if you can find a park that is not already core. So there's core, core plus, value add, and then there's like, a hardcore utility play of turning a park around. Try to find a beat up park that's not too bad, that's got a trashed out mobile home in it. Maybe talk to something nearby. And then you can talk to the park owner and say, hey, you know what? I would like to buy a mobile home and fix it up and rent it. That'd be a great place to start. But for you, it's buy a Sprinter and ever dodged a bullet. I have. That's a great thing. Ever dodged a bullet, not just in a relationship sense. Yeah. Oh, wait, do you mean literally dodged a bullet, or do you mean not just in a relationship sense, like, ooh, something in business? Or do you mean actually a bullet from a gun? Oh my God, I've been shot at twice. Um, and then I don't know if it counts, but my community, my intentional community, we were having a fire, and I was hanging out there with a guy at our big fire pit, and I'm just standing next to him, and he throws a bullet into the fire, and I go, dude, what are you doing? That's the dumbest thing in the world, and yet I didn't. I didn't go run for cover, and then the bullet shoots off, and anyway, I was like, that was dumb. So I guess I dodged a bullet there. Dodged a bullet. I don't know. I mean, fiscally, I am really conservative. I move very, very slow. I always look for a reason to say no. I'm not trying to say yes. I'm trying to say no to everything. I'm trying to go, no, 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 no. Because the way you win is by not losing. And so I'm very careful in that sense. It's a weird way that you're saying dodged a bullet, because here's the thing. I guess I don't have that same paradigm. My paradigm is, well, so what? I either win or I learn a lesson. So there's no real dodging a bullet. Even if I get hit by the bullet, then I go, cool, I learned some cool stuff. I've definitely gone broke before. Yeah, on my own path in the 33 years? Of course. I've totally lost everything before. So I didn't dodge a bullet there. And what a wonderful thing to realize that you're not a slave to the fear of loss. You're not a slave to the fear of loss. That's made me really happy. That's why I've been like, I can go to, the Grand Wailea for $1,600 a night and stay for 10 days and blow a bunch of money, or try to go through Japan and try to burn $1,000 a day for 20 days, But I can also go camping or couch surfing or lay on a friend's couch or go to Burning Man or anything. So I'm not swayed by opulence or poverty either way anymore. Billionaires are the exact opposite. Cowboys big time. How do you mean that? How do you mean cowboys big time? Because, and Terrence, I'm talking to you, brother. You know what I mean? When you realize that all the fears that you've had, and Terrence is a Christian, so I'm putting it within his own value system. When you realize all of those are just a lack of belief in God for you, and that you can let them all go and go, what do I care? And then really surrender to it. That's pretty cool. Okay, Mark, here's what's fascinating. I actually met yes and no. I know it's I know what you mean, Mark, but I'm also not really interested in the tech bro billionaire scene. That's not kind of my group. But I understand what you're saying for sure. I'm not risk averse. I'm not risk averse like, oh, I'm not going to take the risk. I just wanted to get so much data and everything before I ever do anything. Yeah, not those people. Yeah. It was trippy. I have the pictures of all the people that I met. It was wild. Some of them were big Hollywood producers, attorneys for big people. I don't think I'm supposed to use their names on this, but anyway, you would know the people. Avoidance is not being a slave to loss. I'm learning. Yeah. 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 And Terrence, you just need to turn the heat up, man. You need to crank that heat up all the way. You don't have time to waste. Spencer 2302. So what else, you guys? What else do you want to talk about? Travel? Do you want to talk about construction? You want to talk about fasting? Do you want to talk about, what do you guys want to talk about? Absolutely. Have to lose to win. And you have to be okay with losing. And Terrence is got a strong Christian faith, to which I challenge him all the time about surrendering all of his ego, surrendering all that stuff. And if he truly believes that, God's the one to lead his life and be in charge, then he has to be okay with surrendering whatever happens with that to see where it goes. That's my thoughts for him anyway. Anybody else have any questions? There's a lot of people here, but you all are being really I'm trying to see who's here, but you guys are being real quiet. You know what I mean? And that makes me feel, what's a rehab cost in hiring on a typical unit? A rehab job cost, are you talking on a trailer? Are you talking about on a manufactured home? $15,000. Hiring on a typical unit is you find a crew to come in. Usually they'll want money up front. Don't do that. Don't do that. Instead, show them your account and go, look, I have money. And then say, I'm willing to walk over here. I'll escrow this over here. Here's our contractor's instructions. When they see that it's been fulfilled by this neutral third party, then they release it all to you, etc. I'll tell you, this is what's funny. On my last jobs, I only lost, and you'll get this, I only got about $10,000 in contractor theft. So, I did all right. It's just how it is in this business, when you're in a new area, sifting through people and all that, Sometimes there's people that are goofy. That's how it goes. Mark's going to suddenly flip the script. He's like, I don't want to do anything that involves work. I'm just going to let my money work for me. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm trying to elevate other people, though, Mark. I think you're an army of one. I don't think you have a whole bunch of people that you're trying to set free right now. So maybe that's the difference of our approach, possibly. Jacob, welcome. So you guys, it's for real. It's ask me anything you want to ask me. I mean, if I were in your shoes, um, if I were in your shoes, you've got some smart people here. You've got Mark in the equities arena and options and everything, which I didn't do options. I did futures, but that's another story. And then you've got people in real estate, and I think people are willing to give to you if you have anything. I just want to know if you guys are like, call it, it's good. You've done your job. You've talked about stuff. People have gotten something out of it, and then we close out for the night. Because I'm trying to follow whatever voice in my head that said, TikTok and all this, it's not for me, it's for you guys. And that's why I need to do it. So I'm just trying to follow that path, if that makes sense. So it's 10 o'clock my time, must be later your time. Why don't we do this? I'll give you guys a minute to think of any other questions or anything that you want to talk about, or anything that you're like, hey, I disagree with that, or I think you're stupid about this. It's important for me to have you guys know that I really do love all of you. I hope that your lives are like incredibly good. I hope that you lean in and fight the hard things, because when you do, you'll realize that it's overcoming the hard challenges. It's what really creates happiness. We think happiness comes from, oh, I'm just going to lay on the beach and drink Mai Tais. That works for like a couple hours. But then you go, what really makes you happy is actually overcoming the suffering and making the world a little bit better. So I'm just throwing that out for food for thought, right? Next time a whiteboard, a visual would be helpful. We're going to buy a mobile home over here. Yeah, I know. Can I write on an oryx? That's an oryx. It's a type of antelope. We'll write on the belly of the. So if we spend $15,000 for the oryx, I'll think about that, Mark. You guys want me to do a whiteboard? I teach, by the way. People are visual. Oh no, I'm not going to tell you this because you're not invited to this, so I shouldn't tell you that. Okay. I was going to tell you guys I teach like 3 times a week, leveling my team up and everything. Here's something that's funny. If for what I'm teaching, we have recorded every single episode and all the stuff that we've done about how to like go huge and advanced in real estate from the very beginning of zero knowledge. And if I was going to let somebody into that channel to hear that stuff and everything, I would have to charge them at least $2,500 a month. And they better work their ass off for me. Like, they better be doing things and asking. I would say this, if I was going to let people into my channels that I'm doing, I would say $2,500 a month. You better have 2 questions a day, and you better put in 5 solid hours of research on what we're doing per week. Because that's the crucible. That's turning up the temperature on people. Wait, rewind. Sorry. I'm not offering that out to you guys. I was just spinning something, okay? That's not on the table. I was just thinking about, like, I already teach during the week, and so I'm just trying to do a little sort of micro teachings on TikTok this way. That's what I was thinking. Mark, if you ever want to go live, you're more than welcome to join me on a guest thing and talk about equities and all that kind of stuff, because to me, I don't think this bloodletting is even nearly done. I think we have got a whole hell of a lot of money to be removed out of this. I think we're just getting started. And so it's Terrence sent some little smiley faces. I don't know if I can see them all, but yeah. Okay, I think we should call it, you guys. I think we've done a really good job here tonight. I appreciate you following along. and thinking about, wow, there's real estate stuff that you don't have to get into debt for 30 years. You don't have to mortgage your life and pray that you make $100 a month. There's there's a strategic plan of going where people aren't going, but there is still a massive need. There's not going to be any affordable housing in this country for a while. No matter what people build, they're going to build apartments. They're not going to build housing for people. And so, you guys have an opportunity here to do something with your own life on a small scale and get started. And oh, Terrence, I was going to tell you that Bryant is going to be launching. Never mind. Okay, the veteran thing that we're doing for veterans. But anyway, guys, I appreciate your time. I really do. It means a lot to me that you were here. It means a lot to me that you were asking questions and engaged. And I hope that we can do this again. Somebody asked me when I'm going to do this again. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hit and miss. I don't know. I've just now thought about TikTok, so give me 24 hours to kind of figure that out, okay? Yeah, I really do wish you guys a really good night. I hope you sleep and dream about this and it gets into your consciousness and you go, I need to follow up with that dude. He talked about some crazy shit and I'm going to send him an email and I'm going to talk to him. Please do. So I wish you guys the very best. I hope you have a really good sleep. I hope that the universe starts unlocking creativity in your brain and you begin to think more than what you did before we talked. So you guys have a great sleep and I'll talk to you soon. Good night.